Harold Carmichael has always stood out. At 6'8", he's the tallest wide receiver in NFL history. At the top of Philadelphia's tallest building, Carmichael got a new perspective of the city he's called home for over 40 years.
This is gorgeous up here. I've never been up this high to see it.
You're not afraid of heights, are you?
Yes, especially when I'm on a ladder and hanging off a building like this. This is really tough. We're way up here, man, way up, but this is a great view. This is awesome here.
The view from above is nothing new for the acrophobic Carmichael. He spent 14 years looking down on the men trying to cover him.
Being 6'8", and you got 5'8" defensive back, it was always an advantage. We was talking about down the chimney, meet me at the corner. Whatever I had to do to get rid of my guy, I would meet him right at the pylon.
To see this guy going across the middle, running from one sideline to the other, and then reach back and catch a ball with one hand away from where he's running, it was just amazing. He'd beat the throw, and the throw was errant, and he'd just reach back, catch it with one hand. Amazing.
Carmichael's road to the NFL was not as clear as his view of Philadelphia is now. He was drafted in the 7th round out of Southern University in Louisiana. The two-sport star began his NFL career as a tight end.
6'8", 219 pounds. Linebackers would get me like I was just laundry and just shaking me and throwing me away. And I'm saying, oh, get me out of this, down in this tight end spot.
Miscast, Carmichael was moved to wide receiver and ascended to his greatest heights as a pro. He led the league in 1973 in both receptions and yards. His size made him nearly unstoppable downfield, but his ability to run after the catch gave rise to the quick screen.
They run it differently now. They run it, they would call it the bubble screen and stuff like that. And where we ran it, I would take a step up and come back, and when I come back, the lineman was pulling out, and then I would, start maneuvering. "67 catches, led the league. Backup fullbacks are catching those these days. Unbelievable."
In an era where the average offense was barely passing for 3,000 yards, and the league's leading wide receiver was catching fewer than 80 passes, Carmichael became the NFL's most reliable pass catcher. In 1979, he broke the NFL record of 105 consecutive games with a catch.
It was a great day, for my family also. My wife, she was just all giddy about it. They gave her 106 roses, and then they bring out the trophy. They had told me that they're gonna give you a trophy. So I said, okay, all right. Then they stand it up, and they present it to me. And the first thing I said, what am I gonna do with that? You can't even cut it in half and put it in my house, because the house I had lived in was so small, you can barely get up the stairs walking.
The 23-foot-tall trophy eventually made its way to the Hall of Fame. Its original owner never did. When he retired, Carmichael was 5th all-time in receptions with 590. He is now 69th.
When you played back in the 70s, the numbers that we put up down there, people look at that these days and say, gosh, these guys was trash.
Come on, baby, come off the ball.
Carmichael's lasting legacy goes beyond statistics in Philadelphia. For 17 seasons, he was a fixture on the Eagles' sideline. As the head of player development, there was no bigger fan of the Eagles players.
I see what they go through every day on and off the field.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
And then see them having a great game. Oh, that used to be so exciting for me. I would jump through the roof, man. I was very excited for those guys.
The players loved him, and he could go in the locker room and sit down with a guy and help him out.
Inspire those guys that want to play and that will have an opportunity. Let them see what you do, inspire them to be the best.
I will. And at the same time, he warmed up our quarterbacks every day. I always joked him, I said, "You're the highest paid ball boy in America."
Only player development director that wears his gloves out to practice, which are size gigantic.
I was the ball boy, so I would spot the ball, and a lot of time I would snap the ball to the quarterbacks. Nick Foles, his rookie year, almost not breathing. I said, "Nick, breathe, man, breathe."
Stay focused and really, seriously, I'm gonna watch before he snaps. Just take a deep breath, okay? Hey, God bless you, man. I love you, man. Love you too, Harold.
When he left, he said, "Harold, I want you to text me every week, man, and say breathe." And I do it every week.
No longer in charge of player development, Carmichael now holds the title of Eagles Ambassador, a high honor fitting for a man who's always had a view from the top.
I retired in April.
Oh, okay. They gonna have a big ceremony?
No, I didn't really want that.
You didn't want that?
No.
All right, cool.
I made this area my home. I've been here over 40-some years, and I can't imagine being any other place right now. I just enjoy being in this city. Personally, I feel strongly that the city has embraced me, and I feel very strongly that I know that I embraced this city.